Ted Williams, famous sports figure, he was in my base. Buzz Aldrin, whose picture is right up there, I have a picture with him, the astronaut, he was at my base. I never saw a woman, ever, until the war ended. 2 weeks later, a plane landed at our base, and all women came out. Woman nurses, woman teachers, woman library, woman organ player for the chapel. Wow, it's amazing. So I actually was in Korea during the war for a year and a half. I joined the Air Force April the 27th, 1951. My mother and father took me to the airport, got on a plane, first time in my life. I was never on a plane. I never had been outside New Jersey. Air Force are very big on tests. And so they did a test, oh, so you're good in math. So we're gonna send you to electronics school in Scott Air Force Base. After we graduated, and actually in training, 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. In 1951, electronics were wires as big as my thumb, and electronic tubes that you have to hug were so big. Charles Garrod, we're sending you to Korea. I said, where's Korea? Who knew? I never heard about Korea. In those days, the only news you had was newsreels in the movies. I got to Korea in July of 1952. It took 2 weeks for the troopship.
네, 이렇게 지금 비가 많이 오고 있고요. 보이시죠? 엄청 많이 오는 거. 이제 헤지 디렉터는 먼저 들어가서 선생님과 설명드리고 있고.
Buzz Aldrin, whose picture is right up there. I have a picture with me.
장비들을 좀 옮겨야 되는데 몇 번 왔다 갔다 하겠네요. 네, 저희가 보시다시피 네, 저기 보이시죠? 저희가 타고 다니면서 참여용사분들 타고 다니는 네, 차량입니다.
Now I was a one striper. I got a call to the commander's office. He said, and we picked you to be the supervisor of ground radio maintenance. Had a secret responsibility. I said, is that right? The secret responsibility was the ground radio maintenance supervisor was in touch and in contact with the Marine forward observers. They were the people right at the front line, sometimes past the front line. And they radio backed. He's going to call you on a phone and give you a code name. You're going to give him the code name back. I received 3 calls, and the calls were that our base was going to be attacked, bombed by the air. I would have to leave my the radio shack, run for 2 blocks, go to the chapel because the Air Force hid the sound system in the chapel. And I would say these words: douse your lights and fires, man your weapons and stations, red air alert. What that really meant was the bombers were going to come our way. And sure enough, a half hour later, 2 or 3 bombers would come right over us. I didn't know this, and nobody knew this. 5 to 10 minutes later, we would see flashes of light. They bombed. The Air Force in Korea had a fake base, and the communists would blow the same buildings. No wonder they're not bombing anything. They're stupid. They have poor intelligence. The only people who knew that were the people who were with me in that base. It was such a cool thing to have a fake base. This is how the buildings were in our base in the war. This is a guy I hired. He assisted me in the building. He was a 30-some-year-old Korean rock veteran.
Here we go. Okay. Very good. One.
You need more publicity. This is so important. This has to be shown to people. People have to have this book. They have to buy this book.
Thank you. It means a lot to us.
Korean artist was sitting outside the PX in 1952, and he says, I make you this for $5. I said, okay.
Wow. You only $5?
Yeah.
Yeah, $5 is big money for that time.
Huge
money.
$5 would have been a lot of money.
Yeah.
This is the last.
Very good marketing. You're doing good marketing. Okay.
She's the best marketing people.
Next generation, prepare yourself with discipline. Discipline is what lets you survive in this world.